Hey, it's been since last week. I wanted to jump on today. In the last week, I've had a couple of patients that have really touched me and really made me think about our healthcare system today. And I didn't know really how to get on here and talk about it. Hey, James. I didn't really know how to get on here and talk about it, but I had one older lady to come in. She's 69 years old, and she's having a lot of musculoskeletal issues, numbness and tingling. Her lower back is a mess, and I hear my daughter's footsteps coming. So if she comes into frame, just know she's here. So she is on a lot of medication. And so I wanted to make sure, hey, Felicia. So I wanted to make sure that the medication that she had, the side effects were not, part of the reason why she was having the musculoskeletal issues. So she was on, she is on 2 potassium supplements prescribed. She's on a high blood pressure medication. She's on an arthritis medication. She's on aspirin every day. And what else was it? That's just off the top of my head. So I looked up the medication, and the 2 potassium medications, there is a drug interaction, or can be a drug interaction between those that could set her up for cardiac arrest.
And you need to be healthy.
So that disturbed me because, if something happens to her, it is going to probably, it just happened. And so not saying that will happen in her case, but I don't understand why she would be on 2 potassium supplements that are contraindicated to each other.
I don't like ever vegetables all day.
And she doesn't like vegetables, which is totally against what I am. What can you do? I'm trying my best with this child. So she's on that. Also, her aspirin a day is not supposed to go with her arthritis medication. That can cause issues. And one of her medications, one of them, a side effect is numbness and tingling in her extremities, especially her hands. Please be quiet for a second. Thank you.
Do that.
And so, I did look at her x-rays. We do have reason to think that it could be from her spine. But I did tell her, implored for her to go to her doctor and just ask, why am I on 2 potassium supplements prescribed? And why are they contraindicated to each other? And is there a way that I could just be on 1 potassium medication at one time?
Yeah, I don't know what my mom is talking about.
But when I discussed this with her, she said that her doctor would be mad with her for asking her these questions. And so I think that's unacceptable. We hire people. A doctor is no different than anyone else. They are hired to do a job, and we are the customers. And so please stop. Okay? So we are hired. We are hired to do a job, and so you should not be scared to go to your doctor and ask questions about your medications, why certain tests are being taken, to tell them your symptoms, and to demand to be heard and demand for the best care possible. And so, which leads me to what I wanted to talk about today, which is the thyroid adrenal connection. I have a girlfriend that's actually my age, and she came in and she's tired all the time. She has lost her hair. She's had a rapid weight gain. And
someone lost their hair?
And so she is... she's blaming everything else but what I am telling her. So because she didn't want, I don't know if she didn't want to do my testing, but she went to her primary care physician and she got the Italian, stop Go play with your iPad. Don't play on the piano. Don't touch it again. I am so sorry. So she went, don't play it again. So she went and got her testing, and she's pre-diabetic per the results that the doctor had there. She is low on vitamin D because of her red blood cells and hematocrit. She is anemic, and she has lower functioning TSH and lower levels of T4. But they didn't, discuss any of that. What they did tell her was that she was severely anemic and that she was low in her vitamin D, and they would call in supplements for her. So she's pre-diabetic. There was no talk of what she should do about that. And, her thyroid was not checked properly. And so I told her, I was like, if you want to do that, please take the iron. Please take the, Talia, stop. Please take, Lord, I'm so sorry. Please take the iron, and please take the vitamin D, and let me know how that works for you, because that is not the answer. You have not been properly tested. And so when she asked me, how she should be tested, I sent her what I wanted her to test to start with. But I told her that they probably will not test that because all of her other things have been deemed normal. And if you are deemed normal in those blood tests, then there's no additional testing. So, that's it for that. And so, adrenal insufficiency is something that happens today. People are tired all the time. They don't have any energy. They just don't feel like themselves. And so, if they have their thyroid numbers off, then they are given drugs for the rest of their life. Synthroid level thyroxine, and but they're not tested for their adrenal function. And within their literature, you're not supposed to be put on Synthroid if you have lower functioning adrenal insufficiency. But adrenal insufficiency is never tested. So that's one of the things I was and am going to test with her. But they are not tested. And so it's contraindicated, which means that if you have adrenal insufficiency, you should not be on Synthroid level thyroxine. Hope I'm saying that right. So Synthroid is synthetic T4. And TSH, which is thyroid stimulating hormone, it makes the T4. But T4 is a storage unit. It's inactive. It's not active. In order for it to be activated, it has to have something added to it to make it T3. But the problem is when you have adrenal insufficiency, you have higher cortisol levels, which, as you know, are your stress hormones. And so your body is very smart. Our bodies are very smart. And so in order for you not to have something bad happen, like a heart attack or some type of event, if your cortisol levels are up, your T3 cannot be up in your body. It cannot work like that at the same time. So instead of it doing that, T4 is moved to, instead of free T3, which is like the accelerator, it is converted to RT3, which is the brake. So you can have a lower functioning thyroid without it being a TSH problem or a T4 problem. And that's why it's so important to be tested properly for your thyroid. It's usually it's a loop. It's your HPA loop, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and the adrenals. And so usually the thyroid is tertiary, meaning it's not the primary or even the secondary reason why you may be feeling like you're feeling, but it is affected and is tested. And when this function is down, then that's where they go to get you on Synthroid or level thyroxine. So if you need to be tested in the adrenals, you need to be you are put on medication sometimes for a brain issue or a hormone issue. And so adrenal function can be affected by stress, and that's mental or physical stress, okay? And so after a while, you're taking these drugs, you're not feeling any better, and if you don't feel good about it, you're depressed about it, you might be put on an antidepressant, which is even worse for your gut. If it's a gut issue, the immune system is down there and your emotions are down there. There's that gut-brain connection. And so if things are not working properly, your hormones aren't being converted, your immune system is down, it could be a gut issue. You should not be treating a gut issue with antidepressants. Proper testing is key for that. Autoimmune issues, Graves' disease, those aren't really tested, Hashimoto's. And so all of this stuff you need to be aware of it in order for you to be an advocate for yourself. The two patients that I was discussing, they unfortunately took things at face value, and face value is not going to help you be a healthier person or get, the things that you need taken care of. You don't want to be taking blood tests, going for a physical every year, your doctor telling you you're okay, and then next year you have full-blown cancer. Guess what? You had cancer the year before, and the year before probably. You weren't healthy. And so if you don't take your health seriously, you always have an issue for a reason. If you are tired all the time and you feel like you've been getting your sleep, you've been hydrated, you're drinking your water, you're eating good food, and you still don't feel well, there's something wrong. You need to get it checked out. And don't be so fast or so agreeable to be put on a drug for the rest of your life. Because drugs are good in some circumstances. Drugs help. They do help. It's just that if you have an issue and you're taking something for the rest of your life, you're not really healed in the case of Synthroid and levothyroxine. You need to figure out if it is indeed a thyroid issue. If it is indeed a thyroid issue, then that's what you should be on. If you have been tested for your adrenal insufficiency, your adrenal function is where it's supposed to be, then that's fine. If your gut is healthy, your microbiome, your bacteria in your gut, you don't have any viruses, you don't have any infections and things of that nature, then please take the medicine. But you have to make sure 95% of the cases, it is not the thyroid. The thyroid is not primary. It is an effect of something else in that axis, that HPA axis. So all of the stuff that I told you today, you can do research on it. You can Google it. Be a Google doctor. Figure it out. Don't just be so eager to take this stuff that you've been giving, because we're not getting health in that. We're not feeling good. We are a very stressed society, and it shows in our body, and it is affecting our body in that way. So I think that's all. We are having a talk at the office, an inflammation talk this evening at 6 o'clock. We had a little bit of sleet outside today. Hopefully that won't be a problem later on. I look forward to the people who have gotten their tickets, seeing them later on tonight. If you have any questions about anything that I discussed today, please don't hesitate to send me a message and ask me a question or call me. My phone number is on my Facebook page. I've seen Maurice Shipman. Hey, Regina. Hey, Millicent. How you doing? Glad you came into the discussion today. Okay, I think that's it. I hope that I kind of described that. It is a cycle that's intricate. So I'm hoping that I kind of relayed it to you in a way that you could understand. Thyroid stimulating hormone makes T4. T4 is not what you need. T3 is what you need in order to bind to your cells in order to get the effects of the thyroid. If if your adrenal function is off, if anything is off, because everything is affecting the thyroid pretty much in your body. If that is off, then you will not be able to convert to T3. Or if you're able to convert to T3, it will go into like a reservoir, because you can't have high cortisol levels and T3 in your blood, active T3. So it kind of puts the brakes on it, goes into a reservoir for you until you need it. And so that's it. I think that's it. Okay, I gotta go. My daughter is messing up my live today. If you like I said, if you have any questions, just let me know. Hope that was helpful. If it was not helpful for you, let me know why. If it was helpful for you, let me know. Okay, you gonna say bye?
Bye, Brother Jojo.
All right, we'll see y'all later.